External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said that India had put its trust in multilateralism and taken the Kashmir issue to the UN. However, he said, others made it into an accession issue. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar participated on a panel discussion at the ongoing Raisina dialogue in Delhi on Thursday, where he highlighted the importance of one's own national interest over multilateralism, invoking the Nehru-era decision of taking the Kashmir issue to the UN that led to third-party intervention turning aggression to accession. To a question on national interest versus multilateral interests, he said, very literally, in our first year of independence, we put our trust on multilateralism and took the Kashmir aggression issue to the UN, and others made it into an accession issue. And they did it for geopolitical reasons. The fact is that if you say they are playing multilateralism, they always did. We've grown up. It's not like we should be against multilateralism. Multilateralism is a kind of lowest common denominator, and anything above that, it will exist side by side with national interests, with the calculations and competitions. But I also agree that there is a place for sentiment, for solidarity. At different levels we shouldn't make it exclusive, he added. He also highlighted the UN's recent failure to address major global challenges and suggested that its effectiveness has been compromised by its quadruple size since its inception. Jaishankar took a subtle jab at China for being the biggest opponent of reforms in the UN Security Council at a session of the Raisina dialogue. Biggest opposers to UNSC reforms is not a Western country, he said. Adding, when the UN was invented, it had approximately 50 members. We have 4 times the members. So it's a common sense proposition that you can't continue the same way when you have 4 times the members. If you look at the last 5 years, for all the big issues, we have not been able to find a multilateral solution. So the lack of results demonstrates the case for reform. In many cases, the rules have been gained. We speak about globalization. The fact is that the world trading rules have been gained. And we have a lot of challenges today also emanate from how countries have used that for their benefit at the expense of the international system. On the same panel, January Yusuf Makamba, Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation of Tanzania, said that they don't think the current global system works for them. We see a lot of hypocrisy in the way we deal with international issues that concern us. We see double standards. There is tremendous mistrust in the global economic and political architecture, he said. People talk about rules-based, the 2 keywords are rules and order. We make the rules, and we think the current setup from the beginning has not been working for us. We think reform is not enough. The current structure exists because it was somewhat settlement to prevent an upheaval. There is a need for a reorder. The conversations about reforms, especially the UN, the way it votes, the way it makes decisions, are insufficient. Of course, we won't wait for another upheaval so that we have a reordering of the international order. India can help build a new system of coalitions and partnerships that work for us, he added. The panel discussion, A Tapestry of Truths, Can the Two Hemispheres Agree?, focused on how the South has been castigated for a supposed failure to uphold universal values amid a European war. On the other hand, the South sees hypocrisy and neglect from the West during the pandemic, and in Afghanistan and the Middle East. In a real-time and unmediated world, both sides have enough ammunition to reduce the other to an unprincipled and untrustworthy partner. The foreign minister also spoke of how India is a bridging power in many ways. Whether it is COVID or today some of the regional conflicts, people would see us as relatively objective and unbiased. At least to the extent we can get common ground, we should strive for common ground. It will never be perfect, there are many issues we won't get common ground, but that doesn't deter us from seeking it where we can, he said. A lot of what India is trying to do, there are different names, but the idea of a multi-vector policy, what in our language what we call Vishwamitra, which is like a friend of the world, you will maximize your relationships, that is the direction we are trying to take ourselves and take the world, he added.